So, welcome back to Aspire Ranch and our Equine Bodywork series. What is massage? Well, it's defined as deliberate, focused touching with the intention of healing. I call it setting up their biomechanics for success. And a couple of major benefits that help with that is, one, we're freeing up blood flow. Blood is supposed to be circulating throughout the body. We're going to help it do that. Blood carries oxygen and nutrients throughout the body. We're going to make sure it gets there. Lymphatic fluid carries white blood cells, the body's healing mechanism. It does not have a pump like blood does. It moves about as the body moves about. So while we're doing body work, we're basically manually moving that lymphatic fluid around their body and getting the healing process started. So another nice benefit is you're going to notice imbalances with your horse. You'll come across muscle knots, muscle tension. You're going to start noticing things with your hands that you may not have noticed before, and certainly wouldn't have noticed if you were just grooming with a brush. There's also that emotional health. One, your own, because you're working on your horse trying to help them. You're going to feel better about yourself. They're very emotional animals. They're going to pick up on that. They're going to feel better as well. So it helps with that emotional bond between you and your horse. And what all of this does, it boils down to one simple goal: freedom of movement. We all want our horses to be free to move about, especially if you have like a dressage horse or a reining horse or any kind of a performance horse. They need to be able to move around freely. So we're helping out with that. Before you get started massaging your horse, there's a few things to take into consideration. One is your emotional state. If you're having a bad day, that's a bad day to try and massage your horse. Make sure you're at least in a neutral or upbeat, emotional state. And also take a look at your horse. See what kind of emotional state your horse is in. Look at their eyes, ears, nostrils, their head position, maybe even their tail position. See if they're in a neutral state, at least. Make sure they're not in a negative state before you get started. Next thing, take off the jewelry. And I'm going to take it off right now so I don't forget. Jewelry is made of metal, and metals have isotopes with energy signatures. If you had watched my Science Behind the Magic video, I went over some of the basic forms of energy that we are going to be exchanging. We don't need variables injected by jewelry, so just take it off. Warm up your hands. Your horse's body temperature is 100 degrees. You're only 98.6. You're going to be bound to feel a little cooler. So warm up your hands, and right now it's winter time, so I'm going to need to warm up my hands anyway, so I don't have like doctor hands where it feel really cold. Your breathing. Breathing is critically important. Deep, slow breaths. While you're working on your horse, keep your breaths, your breathing in rhythm with your strokes, with your intention. It'll help focus your energy. It'll help keep you balanced and centered. Breathe. Please breathe. And while we're talking about that, posture is very important, mainly for your safety. You step back a bit. I do an archer stance where one foot's in front of the other, my knees are bent, my weight is centered down. That way I'm not putting my body weight against my horse. And if my horse spooks or if something happens, at least I'm in a good position to move quickly and get out of the way. So, real brief, I'm going to cover the massage strokes, and I'll demonstrate on Bella back here. This video, I'm more so going to emphasize on effleurage, because by the time we're done here today, you can go and effleurage your horse with confidence and feel good about it. Speaking of effleurage, it is an open hand or your arm, and it is a long, slow, soothing stroke. The what I love about it is you can do this on your horse anytime. If you do it over your entire horse, you're going to know what your horse feels like when it's normal, like touching wise. That way you'll know when something changes. And speaking of changes, we're going to be looking for heat, cold, knots, tension. We're going to be feeling for all of that. And effleurage is a great way to assess what your horse's body feels like. And what a great way to end a ride. Take the tack off, dry your horse off, give your horse a nice effleurage, head to toe, back to foot, the entire horse. They'll love you to pieces for it. They really will. So, next one's petrissage. Petrissage is rolling, kneading, squeezing of muscles when you're getting into a little more deeper work. There's friction. Friction is both static and dynamic, which means still or moving. When it comes to friction, I apply it in the same way I would do with AcuPoints. I take one finger on top of the other, like so, and you're going to, say you found a muscle knot. Apply light pressure at first, and steadily increase to a medium pressure. I don't want any of you folks going above a medium pressure, which would be about 3 pounds of pressure, until you gain a lot more experience and perhaps take some courses. You can also rub, move your finger back and forth over a muscle knot to achieve a release. Friction also works really well when you're going in between muscles, like I'll demonstrate on Bella, but like around the shoulder, along the neck. And then there's tapotement. I've not yet met a horse that likes tapotement, and that's when you're using percussion against the muscles. You see movies and TV shows where somebody's getting this hammering massage. I don't know, maybe that works on humans. Sure, it's going to freak your horse out. Also, keep in mind, if your horse has not had a massage before, they're not going to know what you're doing. They're not going to understand what's going on. They're used to their interaction with you being training, riding. They need to pay attention. They need to do what they're told. Bodywork is the opposite. They are in control. They will tell you when to stop. They will let you know everything is okay and you can keep going. As you're doing your strokes, you're going to watch for cues of whether or not to keep going or stop. You're going to see, like, if they're really enjoying it, the lower lip is going to start to flutter, their head position is going to go down, their breathing is going to increase, their eyes are going to soften, yawning, licking, chewing. These are all signs that you're doing it right and they're enjoying it. So let's take a walk on over to Miss Bella, and we'll do a few demonstrations. And like I said, this video is more so geared so that when you're done watching it, I encourage you to head on out to your horse and give your horse an effleurage massage. So let's get her mane out of the way. Hello, princess. So effleurage, I'm just going to use an open hand. When it comes to using your forearm, I only do that in the summer when I can wear short sleeves. So light pressure. And a good way of measuring pressure is take a 2-liter soda bottle full, put it on your counter or a table, put your fingers down towards the bottom, and push it till it moves. That's about all the pressure you want to use. Save the heavier pressure for when you gain more experience, learn more from more people. So light to medium pressure, 1 to 3 pounds. Okay. Also, you notice Bella's eating. You will not be doing a massage on your horse while it's eating. You want to focus on your horse. You want your horse to focus on itself. So we'll let her eat during the demonstration, but next time when we start demonstrating real massages, she will not be eating. So Here's effleurage. Nice steady stroke. Cat, you're just going to piss her off. Yep. Petrissage, when we're kneading and rolling the muscles. And as I'm doing my effleurage, let's say I found a muscle knot right about here. Take my fingers like so. Apply pressure directly on the knot very lightly so I can feel where the knot is. Steadily increase to a medium pressure. Hopefully I feel a release. You don't always feel a release with a muscle knot right away. If you're not feeling a release with medium pressure, make your friction dynamic. Maybe you'll get that release. If you don't get that release, let's say within a minute, stop. Then effleurage again, to warm that area up, help that blood flow freely. Let's take a look at her trapezius muscles. You got two sets of them running about here and about here. These are great muscles for effleurage and petrissage. Also have your muscle chart handy, because what you're going to do is you're going to rub directly along the muscle fibers and directly across. And unfortunately, the cat has Bella in a bad mood at the moment. So directly with the muscle fibers and across. Now, the last stroke isn't, petrissage. It's not really a stroke per se. It's a tapping. Like I said, I have not met any horses that like it. Thankfully, Bella is eating, so maybe she won't walk away. Bella doesn't like it. We'll start tapping. Again, light pressure. And as you're doing this, always keep your eye on ears, eyes, lips. Look for signs of keep going or stop. So as I'm doing this, she's distracted with food and the cat, otherwise she would be walking away. But that should give you enough information to at least feel confident with doing an effleurage massage on your horse. I encourage you also to take a look at lactic acid. Lactic acid is actually a misconception. If you're like me, you were told from grade school that lactic acid causes muscle soreness. It actually does not. Muscle soreness is mainly caused by inflammation or the microscopic lesions or tears that occur during exercise. Don't panic, it is normal. That's just how things happen. So that's another great reason why we do effleurage, because we're manually helping that lymphatic fluid, the white blood cells, get to those muscles and begin the healing process. So shut off the computer, put a smile on your face, get yourself in a good mood on out to the barn, make sure your horse is in a good mood, and from head to hind, from back to hoof, go ahead and tummy, don't forget the tummy, effleurage your horse. If for no other reason, get an idea for how your horse feels when it's normal. Hopefully your horse is in a normal condition right now. But also feel around for those hot spots, cold spots, knots, soreness. Feel around for that. Keep an eye on them. They'll let you know how things are going. So, all right. Have yourself a great day and go and enjoy an effleurage with your horse.